All right. There's the intro music. Will Roberts here, of course, acting up. And I want to say acting up radio because that's what I used to say for like 5 or so years. But that's changed because I've changed with the times. I'm very tech savvy on what I'm doing. As you can see on the lower thirds, it's called Acting Up Live. It's live stream. And just so you know, if you're watching this, then you don't need to know where to watch it. But you can see me on, that's my agent getting a text for me to be on set soon. And that's part of that is true. Uh, anyway, so acting up radio is what it used to be. Now it's acting up live stream, and it is on YouTube. It is on Twitter, and it is on Facebook Live. I think it's on my page somewhere here. So if you are seeing this, that's awesome. I'm looking to see if I can see it on my Facebook Live. But in addition to that, there are lots of other places that I will put it on. We're doing this through Restream. Again, I'm Will Roberts. I'm a professional actor of about, look, there's two people watching. I'm a professional actor of about 38, 40 years. I try not to say 40 because I'm feeling old when I say 40 years. But in any case, this show I started a long time ago for various reasons. One of them is so I could get actors to understand whether they're young or they're old. So they could understand how it's changing. Hold on a second. I'm getting a notification. I got to get my glasses on. You can actually make comments on here if you'd like. Let me see what my people are saying. They're saying, can get done. Let me. Okay. All right. One of my guests is asking when to call in. Hold on a second. I do not see me on. Okay. My FB. All right. So anyway, the cool thing about the show that's different from last time, and what I was doing for many years, I had people like David Rappaport, Supergirl, Flash, all that stuff. Orlana Vinker, Grimm. I want to say what's his name, Scott David, but we'll skip that one. And just a bunch of people, director Steven, can't remember his name, but I had him on because I wanted actors to understand the difference between then and now, and also just because I'm a really big proponent of what I call show business and knowing the definition of that. And a lot of actors don't know that the word business is in show business. So with that being said, I used to kind of do it with several different people that were kind of co-hosting. I'm trying out a co-host here that if he goes with this, he's in the green room, probably eating all the red M&Ms. Then I will make sure that I try to keep him in
I
the
did.
loop. And maybe he's a co-host on this. I'd like him to be. And the reason why I grabbed this particular co-host, not only is he my agent and I want to keep him in in my sights, out of sight, out of mind, welcome to Hollywood and anywhere else nowadays, is also because I wanted a perspective of an agent in Hollywood area, Los Angeles, that could kind of give a good perspective. And I will tell you that I vetted anybody that comes onto this show, meaning that I'm not giving you garbage. I'm not giving you shit that you're going to walk away from and go, awesome. So I'm supposed to pay my agent and I pay $1,200 for my headshots. This is not that show. So without further ado, I'm very excited. I'm going to bring in at this point, until he goes with it, uh, a good friend. I'm going to say actually a good friend, and this story might come up, and my agent, Mike Gerard from Esprit, which I always spell wrong, Esprit Agency. When I'm
Yeah.
doing my self-taping, I always spell it wrong. But Mike Gerard, welcome to the show. And wait a second, you get the official.
Beautiful.
Welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you so much. It's good to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you. I was totally surprised when I said to myself, "Self, you know who you should have as a person that of influence on this show is Mike Gerard, your agent." And then I thought, "No way, dude's too busy." I went to lunch with him. He was like, "Yeah, hold on, Will. Yeah. Buy, sell, buy. Will Roberts, don't know him anyway." Uh, but
Have your people call my people.
yeah, have your people go like Mike. Sometimes you're as busy as a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. It's busy.
That's
So,
me.
welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Uh, I want to reiterate the fact that so and I don't think I really had to sit down and chat with you over the phone about the purpose of this show, is just that as you can see, oh wait a second, my lower thirds is off. What? Anyway, as you can see, hold on a second, it's got to go this way now. RJ, my friend who does my graphic, is going to kill me. As you can see, the industry has changed, just vastly changed in the last boy, oh boy, even as when you think of technology, you go, oh yeah, back when I was a kid, I remember going to science and museum and industry and seeing people on phones they would be looking at each other. And man, in 50 years, that's what everything's going to be like. Well, nowadays, technology is every other day. Don't you think it's changing?
100%. It's changing by the minute.
And well, and with that being said, so is our industry, isn't it?
It is. It is, and it's a full-time job keeping up with everything that's going on and how fast it's changing and how everybody's adapting. It really is.
You
Huge
know,
deal.
as an actor, I know that it is something that we constantly have to reinvent the wheel and really kind of figure out how we fit into the system. And I see a lot of actors complaining about the fact that, oh, I don't like self tapes because it's not my job to do all that, and it's just the casting directors pushing the money and the cost to us. And I'm like, I don't know what cost you're talking about, other than you set up a studio. But an agent and being in the industry, you have to keep up to speed, don't you?
Oh, true. Yeah, definitely. And besides it changing so fast, every casting office has different requirements and their own unique uh, needs and wants from us and from the talent. And part of it's keeping up with that as well, the individual desires. And you'll probably notice there's every audition has something different, how they want the tape sent and where they
Yeah,
want them sent and how they want them shot.
yeah. I
So,
mean, honestly, I the last 3 or 4 auditions I've done for you, which have been frequent, thank you. I feel like I'm doing this. Like, okay, so let me do this when I self tape, and then let me do this when I'm doing this, doing this, and then do me a favor and make sure that when you send it in, if you don't send it in with this exact format, and you have to send in the intro, and then you have to send in the other thing, the reading like this, then we're just not going to consider you. Wait, I'm going to get my focus here on that. We're not going to consider you. And it's like, God's sakes, man, we're already in the lowest rung on the ladder as an actor, but now you want us to put it all together and be one of what? Let me just ask you, one of what, 3,000 people or more who are submitting?
right. It used to be 2,000. Now the word is it's more like 3,000 for each role that they get submitted. And they're actually seeing more because of self tapes. So
Wow.
they're going through them faster.
Yeah,
um,
well,
so
obviously do you think, well, with that being said, do you think that they go through them and look for quality of production first?
I think that if the quality is poor, they may pass on you. They're still mostly concerned about finding the right person for the role.
Right.
And they might put up with a little bit, but uh, in general, my films, everything is the audio quality is important. The most important, they can probably look past a weird angle or a not so perfect shot, but if they can't hear you, they don't. There's nothing they can do about that.
Absolutely.
Um, but I think the highest quality, of course, is going to make you look the most professional and give them the easiest chance of seeing what they're looking for um, without having to ask you to redo it or fix it,
Sure.
because they probably don't have time to give you a day to look at it and change it and send it back, unless they really just love you and want to have another shot at you.
A
They're
relationship.
thinking the casting's a pass through. They're the ones just vetting out the stuff that they're going to send on to the producers. So they're not making the final decision, and they're thinking about all that stuff that uh, that they need to send to the producer. So uh, every producer is different too. If the uh, person doing it is experienced, really experienced with, depending on what they're who's directing and who's producing it, they're going to want you need to be in the best light of
Right.
what you're sending. And some can deal with lesser, knowing it's a phone at home and you're doing the best you can, and uh, some want it perfect.
Right. Yeah. So the words A for effort come into place. Hold on a second. Hey, everybody on Instagram. I don't see my stream on Facebook, but if you happen to be on watching me right now on my Instagram, the live show is that
Mm.
snack. I don't know what that means. But I would recommend that you go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/, I think it's actor Will Roberts. So anyway, go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/
Mm.
actor Will Roberts. Check it out. Just look for actor Will Roberts. There's only one of us. And my agent who's on right now. So I'm looking at my Instagram, and look, I'll show everybody. This is what's happening right now, everybody. As you can see, and my mirror. Anyway, so so anyway, you know what you said makes a lot of sense, and part of it though, I hate to say this, is a little bit like people judging the way people look. Is that when you walk down the street? I mean, let's be honest. You walk down the street and you see a pretty person. You go, "Wow, that person's pretty." You don't rarely do you walk down the street and go, "Wow, there's a really ugly person." I mean, you might, but my point is that here we are in an industry of people that are looking for people to be at their best. And it's called show business, so the business is of you showing yourself. That's the business. So I gotta believe that's, even though you're telling me that really they're not looking for someone to have a really stellar looking great light like I do right now. But I do have to say that when you're looking at, let's say, 3,000 people, which we'll get to that in a second. I'm pretty sure that they kind of go like this, because I was told way back, like about 3 or 4 years ago, that casting directors will have their casting breakdowns and all their actors that have submitted. And what the trick for actors is to make sure that your picture does not look like this, but it looks like this. Because
Absolutely.
when they're looking at thumbnails that are the size of their thumb, but they call them thumbnails. Sorry, I got something here for that somewhere here. I got a rim shot somewhere. Anyway, when they're looking at thumbnails, I gotta believe that they're still going to look and go type, and why is this person here? Because they're not in our type, and they're going to single out the people that honestly look good. They don't know that first thing they're going to see. They don't know if the tape they're going to watch is going to be like stellar. People will probably not even get in the running if they're shot that they, I don't know what it looks like, and actors, it's a unknown world of what it looks like when they're scanning through the self tapes. Do they have a line of them? And do they have a picture? So it is smart for you to try to get everything in place. It's like marketing and branding, right?
Right. Yep, absolutely. You need to look like the standard and what they're used to seeing and being able to see. And you don't want so many of I get come through as thumbnails cut off here,
Yeah.
and they're looking for somebody who's been around and experienced and professional and has the right materials, and all of that plays into them being comfortable knowing that you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And if your photo's up against the wall way far away, they're going to go, yeah, they're beginners.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. There's a great way of putting it. Is just that if you see a shot of a person actor that says that they're professional and it looks like this,
Yeah.
there's a good chance that you're probably going to go, let's see. I don't think that person knows how to handle a line. And this, and correct
Mhm.
me if I'm wrong. This industry. Hey, here's Austin. I love Austin. He's out of Tucson, Arizona, and he's laughing. He's making comments on Facebook. I appreciate it, Austin. If you have any questions, ask. I appreciate that. So does Mike. But the thing is that again, if this business is basically made up of people feeling comfortable that are spending a lot of money, spending money on a production that costs millions, if not more, billions of dollars, and they're saying we need to make sure that that business investment is taken care of. And a casting director is in a position that, well, they could never be used again as a casting director if they're not putting together good talent, right?
That's right.
And I
Yeah,
know,
yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry,
It's
I
all
know
sales,
you're
you know.
checking. I also know that you're probably getting people sending you messages going, "Hey, can we get someone that looks like this and that?" So if you have to check out at all, we understand because you're out there
Okay,
probably
thanks.
trying to get me an audition.
Yeah, it's dinging. Right now, it's still pilot season, so it's still the days, you know, they go from pretty much 10 in the morning until 10 at night.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be dinging the whole time.
Yeah, that's all right. I mean, hey, luckily you're busy. And with that being said, I want to ask you the question. And these are, this first show that I'm doing, I think we're going to obviously have guests. I have someone in the wings right now, RJ, who we're going to check in with from Las Vegas. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, he's there, and so we'll check in with him in just a moment. But I wanted to ask you again today's show, since it's the first one back after a couple of years, and now it's live streaming. I know that we're going to have guests on, and between you and me and whoever, I'm sure we can get some pretty cool people on to talk about what is the industry. So, by the way, everybody, if you are not taking notes, that's your problem. If you're not taking this information and utilizing it and saying, oh, yeah, most actors are guilty of, in my opinion, saying, oh, yeah, yeah, I know, I did that. Yeah, I've done that. It doesn't work. I've done. You know what? What we do is really just, we should be is professional marketing people, because all we're really doing is trying to figure out a way for them to try our breakfast cereal and want to stay until noon. And with that being said, I just wanted to bring you in and have some basic questions we're asking, and then, of course, as we bring people in, if you're available, then we will ask questions pertaining to casting directors or whoever. I rarely have actors in here because, yeah, I mean, why would I do an acting show asking actors what it's like to be on set? I'll tell them, but it's
Nobody
not
knows
real.
better than you do.
Well, it's certainly not an ego thing. But anyway, so one more question I want to ask you before we bring in RJ from Las Vegas, and that is that you are you're now you just said we're in pilot season. That has changed, and if you don't know, give us an explanation, brief explanation of what pilot season is, what episodic. Give us the this. I guess you could call it the actors' seasons of a year: fall,
Yeah.
winter, spring,
It's
summer.
already it already started changing a couple years ago, a few years ago, where everything's being done all the time. There's pilots being brought in, you know. After streaming started really kicking in, uh, it's not so defined,
Yeah,
but the industry still calls it pilot season, which kind of means the middle of January through April.
yeah.
Then it's crickets for a month
That,
for everything but commercials, pretty
that
much.
that's crickets. Cricket
Yeah,
season. Yeah.
crickets, crickets. I guess that's a comedy term for nobody laughed, right? Um,
Yeah,
cricket season.
it
Then
works.
in summer, there's episodic. So all the pilots that were picked up uh, get shot. Their
Yeah,
first however many episodes for that season, episodic, and it varies. But July, August, September starts kicking in really busy. Um, and we're usually you see a great big swell of projects September, October, November, and then there's pilots, a nice surge of pilots before Christmas coming in December, and then it really hits off after New Year's. They trickle in, and then by the middle, it's I I don't have a life from the middle of January till other than being on the computer,
Yeah, but
phone calls, and
interestingly enough, yeah, I know because I remember back in the day, I started in '82, and you and I, we talk sometimes the stories about when we, yes, wait, can I do this on my show? I can. Yeah.
can you hear this? Should I turn it up?
Anyway, but you know what? We've talked about this, the fact that again how much everything has changed and the difference between the episodics. I remember back in the day, people would say, "Oh, we're going to get our kids ready, and they're going to come in during what do you call it? During pilot season." And there's this whole thing about actors rushing into L.A. at a certain time, and their parents would whatever, whatever. Anyway, the point is that it has vastly changed, and I have a question here. Austin Bachman, he is a friend of mine, good friend of mine, and also a cowboy guy. He's a great, he's a very good actor. If I can get his ass back to L.A., he's in Tucson right now, but he does some really great work. Plus, he knows how to do gun handling and stuff. He says, Mike, if you ever need
Oh.
someone to play a younger Will Roberts, I did not read that. Did not read that before I said it. Yeah, Austin, thanks a lot, buddy. I imagine during this
Pretty
whole
much every day
yeah, there you go.
they ask for that.
For me, yeah, absolutely, yeah. But I will say that I imagine throughout this broadcast, anytime you're on, people are just not going to be asking me questions. They're going to be like, "So, does Mike take submissions?" Yeah, whatever. All right, hey, so I'm going to take a teeny weeny weeny small break, and then I'm going to bring back on three people. Myself, of course, Mike Gerard, who is from a spree agency in Los Angeles, and of course, my good friend RJ Owens from Las Vegas, Nevada. Las Vegas.
Yay.
And we're going to talk to him and we're going to banter around just a little bit, and then we'll see where it goes from there. So hang tight. We're going to
Yeah.
take a small little break. Do not leave. Whoa, look at that. We don't even have a guy in the middle anymore. That's the show. Here he is, unveiling him. Mike is in the
Oh, hi,
There he
RJ.
is.
All right, everybody. So I'm going to
Uh,
introduce everybody. Hey, RJ, can you tone down your red, or are you just getting out in the sun too much? Let
I
me see if I
can't.
can.
Well, I'm in Vegas and it's hot as balls here. So
Wow,
the
that's hot.
sun has been out for quite a few weeks. Let me see if I
I
can take
got you.
that tint.
I got you. I just did you.
Great.
Yep. So
That's
let
better.
me.
Look, there we go. There's the old fat white guy I know.
Yeah. So
Oh,
I decided in this show that we were going to do two things. That everybody that came on was wearing a black shirt and
absolutely.
and glasses. It worked out. Let me introduce
yeah.
everybody from Going Across. Of course, I'm Will Roberts, one of the hosts of the show. I'm going to always swap it out. Going at the very far end, RJ Owens is a good friend of mine. I've known him for 40 years and a performance friend. He's also a professional magician. He is a professional actor. He is also currently, well, they're on a little hold right now. He, as well as myself, I was with Cirque du Soleil for a couple of few years doing a show called Viva Elvis. RJ is the big baby in Mystère, Baby Francois. So I'm sure that will be coming to a theater in Las Vegas near you soon. But
Very
without
soon.
further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome my good friend and asking perspectives from the Las Vegas area. What's going on, RJ Owens?
Hi, everybody.
And of
Did you
course,
wait? I'm confused. Did you want me to speak in my real voice or the baby voice? I'm so
I'd
confused.
like you not to speak
Baby
ever
voice.
baby voice. Mike, no.
Oh.
You know what? I think I'm going to have you start doing voiceovers as that baby, and people's products will be like big tough guys doing that. I
Of
like it
course,
because you have a.
It's the perfect toilet paper commercial.
I love it.
Big
Yeah,
gruff guy. Then he wipes his butt with the toilet paper and he's soft as a baby.
I'm not going to lie to you. It does sound like
Yeah.
wiping your butt when you do that voice.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. That voice has kept me employed for 9 years, so I'm
It
okay.
has. So yeah, go ahead, rub it in. In the middle, of course, Mike Gerard from a street agency. He is the shorter in the group. No, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
know.
actually,
I'm trying to
what
get bigger here.
I was totally amazed when I met Mike a year and a half or two ago. Very good friend of ours. Good friend. Mike, do you have like one of those chairs that you go to the Grand
I
Canyon in?
do.
Raise up.
I have
Wow.
an old guy chair that I just raised up for you.
I love that.
Tease me, will you?
Yeah. Well, then
Wow.
I feel bad for slouching, so I'll sit up to normal height. So
I feel
there we
bad.
go. Now I'm up at normal height.
So
I
anyway, with
spend
that
my
being
day in
said,
an electric chair.
I met Mike a year and a half, 2 years ago, actually through a really dear friend of ours that we no longer, neither one of us talk to. Anyway, so with that being said,
Take
and
that,
then,
Spielberg.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, so that's what you get for creating a sequel. Anyway, with that being said, met
I don't know.
Mike.
Schindler's List 2 was pretty good.
I liked it.
Yeah.
The later years.
Hmm.
We're done with that one. I don't know, but I just don't know about this demographic on this show right now talking about that stuff. Moving on.
What movies?
RJ, you look like you're looking to see if a bus has come yet. What the hell's going on with you? You're
Well,
like,
because my camera's directly in front of me, but you guys are over here, and I don't want to look like I'm not paying attention to you when I talk. So
no,
trying
we're
to
good.
split focus here.
Mike Gerard, Esprit Agency. I should be putting your information up there, but I probably think at this point your roster is filled up. Wait, before we go on, of course you get your applause too. Oh wait, what was that?
It's not the applause.
Uh, so we have a question. Actually, I have a couple of questions. Hi, Will. Hi, Mike. Hi, RJ from Oslin
Hi.
Lang. I think he is in Austria or something. One of our followers. Question for Will Austin again. What is your favorite role that you played? Not the biggest, but the best. I would have to say, and I'll ask everybody because Mike was a professional actor for a while as well, and I know he's got some good stories there. I think my favorite thing, only from response, would be a role I did called Signal in a short that I shot in Pernambuco, Brazil, while doing a Netflix film. I'll throw that out. Anyway, for 46 days. But that was just because it was shot on a 5S camera, like a cell phone. Oh, I think my phone just died because no one's seeing me on Instagram anymore. Anyway, I like that the most because it was really sort of me just ad-libbing, and the response was great. Got a couple of Best Actor awards, LA Film Festival, and so on and so on. But I like that the most because it was really a matter of me being able to, and this is a good point for actors, and the reason why they should create their own work is because it was a chance for me to do what I wanted to do. Look, when we normally get as actors, we get our sides, our scripts, and we go out there and audition. They're auditioning us for something they wrote, and they want us to fit into their structure of who we are. But does that always spotlight what we are and who we are? No, not really. Not unless you become an A-lister and or someone even a B-lister. Is that even makes a B-lister? Does that make sense? Is there such thing as a B-lister, or is that just B movie?
Wouldn't know.
Good.
He doesn't represent B-listers.
Yeah, let's just yeah. Anyway, that was mine. Mike, how about you? You were an actor. What happened?
You mean
I didn't mean it that way. I really did not mean it that way.
I had a face for agent work. That's what.
There you go.
Uh,
Funny. Tell us about your.
what happened with acting, or what
Well,
was
no.
my favorite job, or
What was your favorite job? I don't really want to know what happened to acting.
I loved acting. Back then, you had to drive in for auditions, so it was
Yeah.
a lot of driving. Um, I think one of the coolest things I got booked to do was promo for a new TV series done by Stephen J. Cannell.
Oh,
And back in the day, he had at the end of everyone was the typewriter, and then
The
and
typewriter,
the
yeah.
paper flew out of the
yes.
typewriter and flew. I got to shoot it in his personal office where he wrote 20 procedural sitcom TV show,
Wow.
procedurals, not sitcoms. And sit at his desk, and I played the mayor of Los Angeles,
Oh,
and
that's
That's great.
got to hang out on the balcony, smoking a cigar and being
all
the
right.
big shot.
Isn't that what you
And
do now?
got
Isn't that what you do now?
Yeah, pretty much in the same office. Um, his office was right on the corner of Hollywood, next door to the Chinese Theater, and uh, oh, the street to the west of Highland. Anyway, nice high rise, and he was the only office with a balcony and plants and all that. And he was
Great.
there his whole career, and I still have the autographed book from the series because it was a book first that he turned
Oh,
into
cool.
a show, and pretty just a the feeling of being in the office that all this stuff was created. And in the 80s he was the guy. All those shows like Hardcastle and McCormick, and I don't know,
Simon and
all the cop
Simon.
shows. And
Simon and Simon.
Simon, yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of my friends were on his shows, and it just gave me goosebumps to be in there and like be touching the desk and sitting there,
Sure.
where all of that happened. um, that was just a side part of how awesome it was. But I was the main guy, so it was
That's
a
kind of cool.
nice thing.
I'm moving
The
this
show
thing.
didn't go.
Well, that's cool. And now, of course, you're an agent. We'll talk about that in a second. RJ, thank you very much, Mike. Moving on. So, RJ, what about you? I know you've done some pretty cool stuff.
Well, I actually have your appropriate answer. The answer you should have responded with was husband and father, but you didn't say that as your
Oh,
most
acting
favorite
as
role.
father?
Being a husband and father. Yeah,
Yeah,
that would
sorry.
have been the appropriate answer for you. For me, my favorite role was the first role I ever wheedled my way into audition 25 years ago. Was for I was a national commercial for an amusement park, and I was just at this agency signing up for background work, and there was an audition going on, and I sat there and I waited, and I'm like, I'm getting into this goddamn audition. And I just sat there and I waited, and the PAs kept looking out and making eye contact with me, and finally I said, are you waiting to go in? And I said, yeah, I'm just waiting. Have you signed up? Yeah, I'm on your list. Great, okay, great. So and they were pairing us up with families. It was to play a family, and they were pairing us up, and the last people there was myself, and then a black mother and two children. And the PA was like, "Do you mind going in?" I'm like, "Absolutely not. I'll go with it. I'll be the father." And I went in. I was the father, and uh, finagled my way into audition. Uh, 10 minutes after I walk out of the building, I get a call from the casting director. It's like, "RJ, we don't know who you are. We don't have you in our files.
Oops.
Uh, we don't know who you're represented by, but the client loves you and wants to book you. Can you please call us back?" And I was
Back in
like,
the day.
"Sure, okay, I'll call you." And so I called back, and she's like, "So, who are you represented by?" And I said, "No one.
Oh my.
I am not represented by anybody." She's like, "How did you get into audition?" I said, "I was just standing there, and the PA came up and said, 'We need somebody to read. Can you do it?' And I said, 'Sure.'" Lied
Yeah,
my
we
ass
call that
off.
crashing auditions, and
Oh,
that's
I
not.
totally crashed the audition.
I
That
recommend
was
everybody does that.
Do you really?
once. Once.
Yeah, until you get a call, Mike, saying, "What the is up? You didn't. We didn't have room." I've sat there at auditions and before. By the way, I'm on Instagram. If you're watching this and you want to see the live show, that I'm not sitting in a blue screen with you and with these guys in Las Vegas and Hollywood, you need to go onto my YouTube, which is Will Roberts. I'm sorry, it's youtube.com/, Will Roberts Actor, something like that. Check it out. Otherwise, you're going to be staring at me in a blue screen alone. Anyway, yeah, no, I've done that many times, but a lot of times I've had the etiquette to call up, but that doesn't really work. I mean, the thing is
Not
that
anymore.
yeah,
No.
matter of fact, you know that whole saying that says, "I'd rather apologize than," something like that. What is it? How's it go? I'd rather apologize.
It's
Have to
easier to
apologize.
say I'm sorry than get
Thank,
permission.
yeah,
Yeah.
whatever that crap is. Anyway, so really quickly, I wanted to just kind of end this part, and then I'm going to take off and talk to RG really quick and let you go, Mike, because I know you got stuff to do and get us readings and so on and stuff like that. But RJ, I want you to ask Mike a question. We do have people asking questions, but RJ, if there's anything you want to ask Mike in regards to the industry, really remember that I think that this sort of like chalkboard here is for actors to be able to learn something from having someone like Mike as a not officially, but a co-host if he doesn't run after this one, uh, and ask a question about the industry that either may be something you've always wanted to know or something that might benefit people that are out there right now. It's all you.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, we are living in strange times. Everything is virtual, callbacks, auditions, everything. But I'm going to ask a question from my perspective because that's the best way I can. Being a middle aged white guy,
Ooh.
what can I do to better my representation in the market with the current political and social climate that's going on? Should I
Wow, you
just
went there.
take a break from acting for a while and say, you know what, I've done my bit, I've done my part. I'll wait till they start casting us again, or should I proceed headstrong, head forward, and just keep making the choices that I'm making? I know
There
I'm
will,
not going to throw you a softball.
yeah, that's a real sensitive, tender subject.
It is. So
There
Mm-hmm.
will
It is.
I can have a bad
always be
signal.
work.
I can have a bad signal and cut you out right now if you need me to, Mike. Just give me the wink.
That's all.
I can't hear you. Oh, see, all right. Well, we
Um,
lost Mike. Well, RJ, let's talk about donuts and stuff. And
uh, RJ, there will always be work for you. There's still work in there. The appetite changes by the day,
Right.
yeah,
and a lot of it flows with uh, current trends. Um, on the commercial side, uh, those brands watch social media to see what's being
Mm-hmm.
liked, what's coming up, and they
right.
kind of we call it they all have a wet finger. You know, they
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
what's popular now.
God, you
So
explained that.
it I know Will loves the wet finger story, but
Not the '80s.
um th- things things change constantly, and at the moment there's fewer roles, uh, but somebody with your experience, talent, and reputation, um, it really helps. It would be a hard time to start with nothing,
Right.
you know, as a
Wait,
as a you know a solid 30-year-old guy like you. Um,
are you talking about me?
w- w-
Stop talking about me.
No.
both of you.
Remember, Austin's the younger you. Remember?
That would be
Oh,
infant.
oh, right.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hey, Austin, I love the Tucson studios down there. That old Western, uh, by
Yeah.
where you live. It's such an amazing
closed.
place.
It's
And
closed. It's
is
closed.
it for good?
Sold out. Yeah, I did a couple of films there, Weston, Ruthless, a couple of others, and they after COVID or during COVID, they just went, can't do this. And I think they might have sold it to someone over in another
Oh,
country, but I think they're turning it into like a parking lot. But I don't know.
Oh,
Anyway,
that's a
oh.
shame.
keep your advice, guy. Keep
There's
your
still White Horse Ranch out north of Palm Springs for
yes.
Western stuff. I
Yeah.
shot several times there. Such an amazing, fun place to be. Not exactly set up for filming, but it works. Um, but oh, I didn't know the Tucson one closed. My brother used to live in Tucson, so I'd go there
Oh, I
a
lived
lot.
in there for one day, and I'll tell you that story in a second. Go ahead.
Um, so yeah, basically, there is what there is at the moment, and
Right.
there will always be work for everybody. Just it ebbs and flows up and down, and you know what's available, and we go after everything, and
Yeah.
that's
I
why
mean,
it's
Hollywood's
important to
always been a
have.
fickle mistress, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it has.
It changes daily. I
So
mean, I'm not discouraged. I'm not discouraged by what's going on, but I know that, it's time to loosen the pants and just sit here and wait for the work to come back instead of,
yeah,
fretting and worrying about why aren't I getting work. Work on side projects. Like Will and I are working on side projects just to keep our chops.
All side
Because if
project.
we don't keep our, yeah, if we don't keep our chops right now and keep up with the times, especially like this
Very-
virtual stuff we're doing and creating our in-home studios and getting prepared for the next
mhm,
wave that's happening, we're going to be
yeah,
SOL.
and it's
I
coming.
don't know if you guys
And
saw.
Yeah.
I'm going to post this back up again. Austin says, "Can you see the screen?" It says, "I'm 30, haha. Old Tucson closed until they can figure out what to do." And then basically, here's the next part: state owns the property. Diamond gave up the business, and then it's safe. Wink, wink. It's for sale. Wink, wink. So I'm sure they'll
Uh-huh.
come back because it's
Oh,
there's a lot of production studios that kind of do that. But I have to tell you that it would probably be really popular if they just relocated it to Atlanta, Georgia. Huh, okay. I feel
No,
like
but
yeah.
nobody's filming
Make
in
it an
Georgia now.
amusement park.
I know. Well, that's a
Just
theory. Yeah.
just a second.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Oh, you need a young Will Roberts. You need a young, like how old? 30? Hey Austin, give me a call. Got
Oh
something for
wait,
you.
here we go. Here's one. Someone that says, "Want to buy followers and be popular." What the
Oh,
hell?
fantastic! I've always wanted to be popular.
Hey, maybe next show we'll talk a little bit about social media, but I think we need to let Mike go. Mike, I really appreciate you coming on and co-hosting this with me today. And I'm going to go like this for the next episode. To the next episode. Anyway, and I'm going to hang out with RJ, talk a little bit about Las Vegas. And thanks. Any last thing you want to say? Like, get out of the business, Will? Or
Me? No. It's no. Love you like a brother. Thanks
I
for
love
having me on, and I enjoyed being co-host.
Mike Gerard. See you next week. I hope.
Hi, Mike.
Yep. Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody, we really appreciate Mike coming on. RJ, do you mind? Could you have a moment to stick around and talk to me? I don't think much
Can
because
I
we have
take a
to go
drink
to.
of water?
Yeah, we have
Do
to
you
go.
mind if I take a?
No, dude, you can smoke, drink, get hookers. I don't care, male,
No, you
female.
can't. COVID, man.
Sorry. Well, as long as they're tested. So you can do whatever you want. But I know that we only have much time because we have a show. We have another show on Amazon Live that we are going to be doing. This is all I'm doing. And man, are we raking in the dough, huh?
If by dough you mean the stuff you make pizza out of, boy, are we raking in the dough.
I mean, hey, what's up, Rusty? How are you? Thank you, Austin. I'm gonna have you on, Austin, at some point. I do need to check, by the way, Austin, my direct.me because you're right, some of my stuff's not right. So look at that, a show where you can actually pull up and have a cigarette.
You said I could have a cigarette, and I just got finished talking to an agent. I feel like I've been raped, so I might as well light a cigarette.
Oh, damn. Oh
I'm
well,
joking.
there goes
Mike, I
that
love you. I mean it. I really.
there goes that representation. So, what's up with Vegas? I mean, I lived there for a few years, loved it. It's wonderful. It's not the same place. Even before COVID, I saw a lot of things seem to be changing. But what's up now? I know that you deal more with strip show because Cirque du Soleil, and you deal with a lot of the
When he
variety.
says strip show, he means Las Vegas Strip,
Oh yeah,
not a strip show.
sorry.
Because nobody wants to see a show with me stripping. I will
Look
guarantee that.
at this wire; it's really rigid. Anyway,
Ooh, gross.
um, what's happening? What's the deal?
What's happened? The
Yeah,
entire fucking state shut down, Will. That's what happened.
what the hell?
A year and 2 months ago, a month ago, a year and a month ago, the state shut down, and every single show in Vegas, every single attraction in Vegas closed.
Yeah.
Uh, Shows have just begun reopening in the last month. We just had an announcement last night by our mayor, or sorry, our governor, that by June 1st, the entire state will be back to 100%.
Wow.
Um, the social distancing mandate will be gone, but however, the mask mandate will remain. So you
Okay.
will still have to wear masks, which is great. Um, Vaccinations in the state are open to everybody over the age of 16 with an appointment, which is fine. He also said that some counties will have the opportunity to go to 100% by May 1st, which is
Right.
15 days away.
Sure.
Chances are that's probably going to be Clark County, where I'm at in Las Vegas,
Yeah.
because this city needs the money. People
Oh,
are coming in, shows need to go back up. As you said before, I work for Cirque du Soleil. Our show has been down for a year and a month. Every Cirque show has been down.
yeah.
I've been fortunate to have a side hustle going with you on
Yeah.
some stuff. On Monday I just filmed a gig with Jay Leno here. Did a nice shoot, which was great.
Yeah.
And it was so. Uh, it was it was quite an emotional day for me because it's the first time I've been on camera in my new body, and not only in my
Yeah,
new body but
right.
new clothes.
Yeah,
And
beautiful.
so um, they were snapping some stills while I was on set presenting, and I got to see some of them. I'm like, I got a little verklempt because I saw a different version of me, and it was fucking fantastic. But the city's the state, the city, it's slowly coming back. I mean, um, I'm anxiously awaiting an email or a phone call right now. I'm currently working on a show. It's a spec show for a former artistic director with Cirque du Soleil, um, and that goes up in the first weekend of May here. It's such a unique concept. It's a full on Cirque style show in a horse arena at a dude ranch in southern Nevada.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
It's so crazy,
it's great. If
and
you
it's
go
more
to
than just
your
a show. It's an event. What was that?
Yeah, absolutely. No, if you go to
Yeah,
RJ's, if you go to, let's see, what's your Instagram again?
Magic Fun Guy, MAGICFUNGI.
All right, hold on a second here. Say it again.
FUNGI.
MAGICFUNGI.
Yep,
If you, let's see, if I'll swing it in, let's do fly in, and boom. I don't know where it went. There it is. We'll put that by you. If you're
that's
interested,
me.
you can check you out on of course Instagram. The cool thing about what RJ is doing now on Instagram, he calls it therapy, but other people call other people call it entertainment, is that he's doing what every actor should be doing. Now, I don't know if you should be as frequent as RJ, which is every day. Now he's committed or should be
I'm
committed.
committed, and I've got an audience.
And he
So,
had an audience. You had like a lot of people on, and he's getting a great response. And this is what helps people in this industry get noticed. Quite honestly, I've told this story before many times on my show about the fact that I got an Amazon, I got two Netflix films, I got a couple of other films, they're big feature films, and I got them all off my Instagram and my, all of my social media, because when you start getting out there, people start noticing you. If you don't, they won't, because the algorithms are written to where that you're putting out stuff and they see you. If you're just going to put up something like it's almost like putting up a website in Siberia selling water. No one's going to see you if you don't find a way of getting it constant and always changing. So I really appreciate your live Instagram, because I know you really have
well, and I did something
promoted.
different with it too. I'm not. I chose to do my Instagram as a really vulnerable part of myself.
Right.
I've been living my life pretty consistently for over a decade now, of with the mantra of just be a good human, right?
Yeah.
Be a good human. And when I started doing this Instagram broadcast, I was just talking to people and hearing their story, and it would trigger, wrong word. It would make me recall stories from my past, and I realized that I would just like to share my experiences with people because they might have had the same experiences, or might be,
Oops.
oh well, there's that. Just
Sorry
take
about
us out there, no problem.
No, that's all right.
And now I'm Mike Gerard.
What happened?
Yeah. Hey, Will,
Oh, I know what I did.
if
Hold on a
you
second, RJ. Hold on a second. There's
if you
Will.
need me to stop talking and go
Yeah,
away, I can. You can
just
just say we're
tell me.
done.
I
That's
was
the end of
trying
the
to tell
show.
people. I was trying to tell people, and I pinned it on Instagram, but I wound up touching the mouse. If you're on Instagram, go to that pinned place on YouTube to see this live. Sorry, RJ.
No worry. But anyway, I basically no holds barred. I'll talk about anything with anyone,
Well, you would anyway.
because yeah,
That's you.
I would anyway. But that's why I call it my therapy. Actually, it's funny. My therapist was like, "I'm not going to lose you to Instagram, am I?" I'm like, "No, no, no. You're still going to get your 250 a week. Don't worry." But I know it's expensive.
Damn.
Glad they don't charge by the pound. Woo.
Oh,
But yeah, and it's just as Will said, it's a great way not only to get yourself out there and get yourself seen, but it's also great rehearsal, man. If you're
it
doing any, especially with this virtual thing right now,
it
you're
is.
getting to where you're looking right at the camera. You're getting to where you
Yeah.
can
Good
adjust
point.
everything.
Good point.
It is a good point. You're getting on camera experience from a friggin' iPhone or
Yeah.
an Android if you use one of those. But you know, and it also allows you to be more free because, as we know as actors, the more vulnerable you are as an actor and with your life experiences, the more apt you are to understand what the writer is giving you and play all the aspects of that character or that role or even that line. If you've
Right.
got one line to read,
Well,
it could be like, what are the three hardest words to say in the English language? I love you. And it can be said a million different ways with a million different meanings.
Well, I want to actually touch on something you just said that I think is great, and then we'll end the show. But here's the thing: you said, and I've always been telling people on Instagram and people shooting stuff on their phones. As I'm on Instagram, if you're on it, go to the little pin thing. You'll see us live. But you made a great point, and I say this to people for the longest time, which is that when you're out here doing social media and you're trying to do your, whether you're doing a live or you're doing a social media, whatever you're trying to do, or TikTok, what you find is that you, what are you doing?
I'm just adjusting my
Oh,
iris, so it's a little. I was a little hot on my forehead. I
it's
noticed.
a little dark now.
I can
But
fix that because I have a camera right in front of me.
But see, here's the thing. I'm holding up my camera, right? Here's the thing that you learn as actors. First of all, you learn as an actor that usually you're going to be watching TV like this and not like this. Now, I get that
Right.
Instagram is different, but here's the thing. When you're doing your filming, what you realize that is this. Like if you're doing this and I turn around, I go, well, that's not really good because there's the light. And that's the thing. Both RJ and I have been in theater for 40 years, and we know that when you're doing a tech, and they're going, "Hey, go ahead and RJ, find your light," and you're like, "So what? Watch." So let me see if I can do this. So you see my face now.
Yeah.
Now you can see my face, and it's got better lighting. The point is that as actors, you learn to find the light. I can't do it here because I don't have this.
Can I relate a story?
Yeah,
Can I relate a story? It was my first time on stage with Cirque du Soleil in Saltimbanco, and they were bringing me in. They were bringing me in to set me up for the first time. I was mic'd. I was in full makeup. It's the first time I'd been on stage to perform. I'd been on stage to rehearse, but they hadn't set any lights or anything.
right.
So they bring me on, and they uh, they said, "RJ, you go stand over there." So I go stand over there, and first thing I do is I look up at the instruments, and I find my light, and I step into it, and then I stand and present, and went on with a little rehearsal, and then we did the show.
Sure.
Afterwards, both the lighting director and the sound director came up and said, "Yeah, we knew it was going to be okay. When you walked in, the first thing you did was look at the lights to find out where your light was. Then you stepped into it. We were like, we're going to be fine." And I was like,
Because
"Okay, good."
But surprisingly enough, when I did my show, Elvis, and we did our tech, a very funny story is that they had taken so long to do the dance numbers because the dancers didn't know where the lights were. So they had a
Yeah.
group and they're like, "Hey guys, Frank, George, you guys are in the dark. Do you feel? Oh, we are. Is that better? No. Can you feel the light on your
But here
face?"
and here's the thing: most dancers don't feel the light because they're feeling the music.
Okay.
I very rarely worked with any dancers. Don't get me started. Very Dancers are used to lights following them as opposed to them having to be in their
Well,
lights.
that's a good point. That's
You
a good
know?
point. Yeah, and they're used to
Um,
like specials and like I'm gonna dance in the
yeah,
dark and then I'm gonna go over here. I get you.
yeah.
But those are,
But
I mean, that that we won't get into this show into the things that actors and dancers and performers should know these in this day and age, but they don't. So anyway, all right. Well, that is the end of the show. Only because number one, we've been an hour, a little over an hour, and if
number
you are
two,
watching this, huh?
number
Yeah,
two,
I know we got
we
another
got a
show.
show to do, and
And
I have
number
to make
two,
graphics.
he's got to make graphics. And so, anyway, I'm Will Robertson. Of course, this is Acting Up Live and live stream. Most likely, I'm going to convince this man to come on with me as much as I can. I know he's got a busy schedule and he's shaking his head no, like he has to go to the restroom or something smells weird. But anyway,
Could be both. Could
yeah.
be both.
What does this say? Oh, here is someone say we got someone said brilliant stories. There you go. Love
We
it.
got tons of stories.
Got stories that you wouldn't believe. But most importantly, I'm going to shut you out, RJ, tell you to get the hell out of here, and we'll see you soon. And I'm going to end this really quickly. So, ladies and gentlemen, big applause for my
I
good
will.
friend RJ. He'll be back again, and I'm going to go to a sing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's a show. All I want to end with and tell you is that it's extremely important for you to understand that if you're getting into this business, that when you get into this business, it's really not just a business. It is a commitment. It is a way of life. If you don't understand what you should be doing in this show business, then perhaps you shouldn't do it, because here's the fact. As Mike said in the middle of the show, that now about 3,000 people might be going out for the role. If you can't get in, get it shot, do the self-tape, get it back in, be in a professional environment because you're thinking that, well, I don't want to do this modern thing where we're self-taping, or you're thinking to yourself, it's not my job to do this and that, then maybe you should go and do some community theater, because I'm not lying to you that there's 3,000 people that are less talented than you are, most likely. And I'm sure you're very talented. And the thing is that talent is very important in the equation, but talent is one of the things that will get you in front of the right people. And then from there, you get to do this and hope that you did what you did and you just are the right person at the right time, because it is not an easy thing to do, to be in this business. So with that being said, I hope that you do what you can. Everything is your job. That is true. My good friend Rusty Allen, who's watching the show here on our YouTube channel, you can get us on YouTube, Facebook Live, and of course our Twitter account. Check it out. I am Will Roberts. You are on Acting Up, not radio any longer, but Acting Up Livestream, and I'll see you next week. See you soon.